back to yet another video from land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. We have already studied about land, soil and water resource. Today we will study about natural vegetation and wildlife. So why delay? Let's begin. What is a biosphere? Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, that we call it as a biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated, interdependent on each other for survival. This supporting system can be called as ecosystem. There are different types of ecosystems. Now, why are the flora and fauna, or else why are the vegetation and the wildlife important? Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Undoubtedly, yes. There are innumerable uses of plants. What are the uses? Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soil so essential for growing crops, act as shelter belts, help in storage of underground water, give us fruits, nuts, oil, medicinal plants, you just name it. We have innumerable uses of the plants. And what about the wildlife? They provide us milk, meat, hides, wool, right? Think about the insects like bees. They provide us honey, they help in pollination, they have an important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. There are some birds feed on insects and act as decomposers. For example, you take vulture, right? Vulture, due to its ability to feed on the dead livestock, acts as a scavenger. Have you heard about the word called scavenger? Yes, vulture is a scavenger. It is a natural cleanser of the environment. Crow is also considered to be one of that. If you take animals, big or small, all are integral to maintain a balance in the ecosystem, isn't it? Now, the distribution of the natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grasslands, scrubs and tundra. Right? You might have heard about this in class 7. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant of water supply. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of trees and their density reduces. In the regions of moderate rainfall, short stunted trees with less growth and grasses grow, forming the grasslands of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, thorny scrubs and scrubs grow. In such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves have thorny and waxy surface. Remember the cactus. To reduce the loss of moisture by transpiration, tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprise of mosses and lichens. Now, forests are broadly classified into evergreen forest and deciduous, depending on when they will shed their leaves. Now, evergreen forest. First one, evergreen forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve the loss of moisture through transpiration. These forests are further classified as tropical or temperate based on their location wherever they are in different latitudes. Now we have learnt about this various forest types, their distribution and the associated animal life, that is fauna, in the previous class. Today there are many more people in the world than there were 2 centuries back. To feed their growing numbers, large areas of forest have been cleared to grow crops. Now, agriculture is being done on it. Forest cover all over the world is vanishing rapidly. There is an urgent need to conserve this valuable resource. Remember. Now we'll move ahead to conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Right? You can see in the picture here. Forests are our wealth. Plants give shelter to animals, and together they maintain the ecosystem. Changes of climate and human interference can cause the loss of animals and as well as the land, loss of habitat for animals and plants. Many of the species have become vulnerable, endangered. Some of them are on the verge of extinction. Reasons being deforestation, soil erosion, right? There are so many reasons. Now, as I told you, changes of climate and human interference has caused in the loss of natural habitats. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered. Some of them are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fire, tsunami, landslides are human made and natural factors which together has accelerated the process of extinction. We have just helped the nature to bring our own extinction. Now, what have we done? What have we done? The animals are poached for collection and illegal trade of hides, skins, nails, teeth, horns, as well as feathers. They are not leaving any animals. They are poaching all the animals. Remember, very famous film actor was also caught in the case of poaching of black buck. You might be remembering it. Now there will be a balance in the environment if the relative number of species is not disturbed. Imagine a day where humans are hunted and kept in the zoos or kept in the national parks. Wouldn't it be a great sight to see? It wouldn't be, right? Due to indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become extinct. Yeah, this I have already explained. Many countries have passed laws declaring that the trades as well as killing of birds and animals are illegal. Now there is a law in our country also which provides killing of animals and birds as illegal. You just cannot go hunt a black buck or hunt a deer, hunt an elephant. You cannot do that, right? So conservation of plants and animals is a ethical duty. It's not only ethical duty, it is your, yes, you guessed it right, it is your fundamental duty. It's one of your fundamental duty to conserve the natural resources. In this case, it is the flora and the fauna. We have to conserve this so that we can give it to our future generation. Now, there are some things. For example, one of the major concerns in the increasing incidents of poaching that result in a sharp decline in the number of particular species is because of a greed. We try to poach these animals thinking only about the profit to the human being. Just think about the loss that we have to suffer. Then probably, right, it will be our duty. Now, how are they conserved? They can be conserved in national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves. They are just the place to protect the natural vegetation and the wildlife. You can give a lot of examples. Like recently I was teaching the 9th standard and you might have heard about Run of Kutch Wildlife Sanctuary, Ranthambore National Park, Jim Corbett National Park, Kaziranga National Park, Manas National Park. In Karnataka, Bandipura, Banerghatta, Uttarakhand, there are famous national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, bird sanctuaries, tiger reserves, elephant reserves, right? So many. So by doing this, we can conserve the flora and the fauna. Conservation of creeks, lakes, wetlands is also necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. So what is it is we should not disturb the nature as it is. That's what we should do. Now, but you always remember that you see the newspaper reports here, right? So many times we disturb Like you'll see as California fires rage, right? Forest fire. See everything disturbing the natural order. Remember the